And welcome back to Talking Football here at TalkingSports.tv. What a great place we're at. Charlie Fitz Whiskey's in Vaughan, Ontario. Folks, I urge you, if you can, get out here. This is a cool place. A tap and eatery, great wings, and always the beer is very, very cold. Guys, Uncle Ben from UncleBen'sFootball.com, Handsome Howard Kamin, one of the top handicappers in all of the world. I'm going to ask you guys to give us, and we'll do this each and every week on Talking Football, your top 3 NFL picks. And folks, I'm going to urge you to take your notepads and your pens and write down their top picks. And if they happen to agree, you got a winner. I guarantee that. Uncle Ben, your top pick for this week.
My top pick for this week is the defending Super Bowl champion Baltimore Ravens, and I'll tell you why. This team's getting no respect, in my opinion. They go into Denver the first week, almost 10-point underdogs, 9 or 10-point underdogs. Of course, they got blown out, and maybe that was a good slap in the face for them, okay? They came home last week. They struggled in the first half, but they got it together, and they covered the spread, and they were also on my site last week as a winning bet. This week, they're underdogs again at home against a team that comes in 2-0, the Texans, having won both their ball games on the last play of the game, I might add. And they're favored this week against the Super Bowl champions, like I said. Now, by the way, Super Bowl champions, okay, defending Super Bowl champions are 25-12-1 against the spreads as dogs since 1980.
That's an interesting stat.
Since 1980, okay? They're not dogs a lot, all right, in that 30-year span, obviously. And, like I said, the Texans come in 0-2 against the spread, all right? And the one thing that I do like you mentioned earlier, Howard, this is a good revenge spot. Last year, Baltimore went into Houston. They got blown out 43-13. That just happened to be John Harbaugh's, not Jim, John, worst loss in his NFL career. Wow. That's right. Worst loss in his NFL career. So I'm saying revenge and maybe a little respect working for Baltimore here. Playing at home, getting 2.5, maybe it'll go up to 3, depending on the public's betting on Houston right now. I would wait on that, okay? But I like the Baltimore Ravens. Never mind the points in this one, boys. Ravens win outright, in my opinion.
And what's interesting, Ben, and I agree with you 100%, is that the Ravens started to gel again with the departures of Ray Lewis and Ed Reed and some of the other guys. Bolden, who they looked okay in the second half last week. It was like Joe Flacco looking good again. They scored 14 points, enough to win that game and enough to cover. Howard, any bets standing out for you this week?
I like, you like the defending Super Bowl champions. I like the defending Super Bowl losers. The San Francisco 49ers, 10 points at home against the Indianapolis Colts. Now, this falls into 2 categories for you. Number one, San Francisco cannot look as bad as they did against Seattle last week. San Francisco looked like a team that, never mind a Super Bowl team, they didn't even look like a contender last week. They looked terrible against Seattle. Seattle stopped them all game long, and San Francisco's going to bounce back. They are going to bounce back, and they're going to bounce back in a big, big way. Number 2, Trent Richardson coming to the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, to me, the public perceives that, wow, Richardson's coming to the Colts. The Colts are going to be able to run the ball. They're going to keep the game close, Frisco wins this game by 14 or more.
Yeah, because he won't even know the Colts playbook yet. He won't even know what he's doing.
But the public perceives that as, here, Indianapolis is getting a great running back going against a team that didn't look good last week. They should be able to cover 10 points. Now, the Vegas odds makers, they know that the public is going to see that, but yet they still made San Francisco 10-point favorites, hoping that people will fall for that trap. Frisco wins that game by 2 touchdowns or more.
Interesting, it's possible the line could even go down there. You might go. Now, there's very important numbers in football, actually, that you got to either stay on or below, like 3, 4, 6, 7, and 10. You've got to be on or below those numbers. You don't want to be given 3.5, 4.5, 6.5, 7.5, or 10.5. No. So just a little point there I thought I would throw in. Another game I like this week, and I've been hearing this all week. Patriots are dead. The Patriots stink. The Patriots can't score. Yeah, right. Sure. Well, guess what? How are you is what I say to that one, okay? After opening the season as double-digit favorites in their first 2 games, maybe there might be some value I see here in the Patriots. They're only favored by 7 points this week.
Over Tampa.
Over Tampa, okay. And I got to tell you something. Bill Belichick simply dominates. I mentioned this to you guys earlier. He dominates opponents in this role, going 16-3 straight up and 15-4 against the spread in his career off back-to-back spread losses. The Patriots lost both their first 2 games against the spread. And it's unbelievable, but he's 23-1 straight up. That's right, 23-1 straight up and 22-2 against the spread in his NFL career when not laying more than 12 points against an opponent off back-to-back losses. Tampa Bay lost their first 2 games. Enough said is where I say on this one. I say get on the New England Patriots. Tom Brady's overdue for a good ball game. I just see with 10 days to prepare as well, playing last Thursday night, Patriots in a walk, gentlemen.
You know, it's funny you talk about the New England Patriots, and I got to differ with you there in that game because I just think the New England Patriots are not the same team they used to be. I think the New England Patriots aren't even close to being the type of team they were. But we'll see who's right in that game. I like the other side.
This, my friend, is why they play the games.
Yeah. One game I do like, and it's a game that I think the public sees this game one way, and I see the game the other way, is Dallas and St. Louis. I really don't like the Dallas Cowboys. I think they're one of the most overrated team in football.
Tony Romo is the most overrated quarterback.
I think the whole team
existence.
is overrated. I think the whole team is overrated. I think the Dallas Cowboys are a team that at the very best will finish 8-8 at the end of the season.
Yeah.
And they've covered both games so far this year. One they lost and covered. This week they're a 4-point favorite at home against the St. Louis Rams, and I see the Rams winning this game outright,
Wow.
beating the Dallas Cowboys in their own park. I think St. Louis has actually looked not too good in their first 2 games, but I think they have the talent, they have the defense, and I think St. Louis Rams win this game outright against the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, Howard, that's a good choice because, you know, Jeff Fisher is the #1 NFL road dog coach in NFL history.
Wow,
Against the
didn't know
spread. Yeah, so that bodes well
That's
for
interesting.
that bodes well for your selection as well. My final pick of the week, although I did like the San Francisco selection as well, I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills. That's right. Now, the New York Jets, all seriously, they should be 0-2. I mean, you guys saw what happened first week against Tampa. If you're not familiar with the penalty in the last second and put them in the field goal range, and then last week Geno Smith sort of got eaten up down in New England. But there's 2 things that I really like about this selection. One, Mike Pettine used to be the defensive coordinator for the New York Jets, and now he's the defensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. So he knows what's coming, or you'd think he knows what's coming most of the time. Okay? 2 is Doug Marrone, when he was coaching at Syracuse, and Geno Smith was at West Virginia.
Yep.
They face each other each year. Marrone owned them.
Really?
Okay. Marrone owned them. Okay. The 2 years that they played each other, Syracuse won both times. I think Geno Smith was sacked 10 times through 5 interceptions in the 2 games. So he knows how to handle Geno Smith. He did it by blitzing, and he did it by stacking the line and making Geno Smith make quick decisions that he doesn't like. Okay, granted, there's 2 rookie quarterbacks, but I think the Bills have a better supporting cast for E.J. Manuel than the Jets have for Geno Smith. He's kind of been like a deer in headlights the last couple of weeks. Let's face it, they should have lost to Tampa,
Yes.
and they lost to New England. Okay, the Bills on the other chance, perhaps they could be 2-0 quite easily, the Bills, losing a last-second game to New England at home, and then they won last week against Carolina. So I like the Buffalo Bills and Doug Marrone right in his own backyard. You know, he's been the Western New York guy. He's playing in Buffalo. Now he's playing in New York. He's from Syracuse. You know, a little hometown cooking there. I like the Bills. Another dog who I think +3 you can get the Buffalo Bills at right now. Okay, -120, +3, -120. Remember, you got to stay on 3, not under 3 in NFL football games. So I like the Buffalo Bills +3 to win this game outright in New York and go to 2-1 for the first time in a long time.
Well, that's fabulous information, Ben. I didn't realize that Marrone owned Geno Smith like that at
Yep.
college level. That's extremely valuable information. That's why you do what you do at Uncle Ben's Football.
That's why I am who I am, exactly.
Howard, one more pick from you, my friend. Another gem we need to give to all our viewers.
I must give credit to Uncle Ben as well, because some of these information that he scoops up, I mean, you just don't see it. I mean, and these are things that even the public doesn't even know about. So,
that definitely not.
Kudos,
Well, thank you very much.
to you, Uncle
You
Ben.
get it, though, if you subscribe to UncleBen'sFootball.com.
You gotta
You'll
be
get
on.
that information, and just go on the site and look it up and get it.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely money well spent getting on Uncle Ben's website. My third selection of the week is a team that's 0-2. They're coming home on national TV. They're a dog at home. I can't see them going 0-3, although they have looked terribly offensively in their first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I think they will figure out a way how to win this game, and that's the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, I like them at home as a dog.
A home dog, there's enough football pride there in Pittsburgh that this team will rise to the occasion. I think the Bears might even look at this game as like, you know what, we're going into Pittsburgh. You know, they may not take the Steelers all that serious. I do like the Steelers to win this game outright at home and beat the Chicago Bears.
All right, so there you have it, folks. You've got your picks. For what it's worth, I'm going to give you a couple of my picks. I love the Tennessee Titans at home, laying the 3 points against San Diego. I think the Chargers team has been playing way over their heads. That's my opinion. I also like the Miami Dolphins, as I mentioned a little earlier, laying the 2.5 points. I usually play dogs, Uncle Ben, but I like these two favorites, mostly because Atlanta's a little banged up, and San Diego with Phillip Rivers. I mean, how have they looked as good as they have? They're not that good a team. I love the Titans. They've looked good. They've looked pretty good.
Well, Mike McCoy's turned things around in San Diego. I mean, in all rights, they should have won that game on Monday night against the Houston Texans. I think they were up 31-7 or something like 24-7.
But they gagged in the second half.
They gagged completely.
And they looked like they're what I thought they would be.
Then they went into Philly last week and beat a team that
I know,
everybody
and
thought they weren't going to beat.
I can't see it happening.
So there is some inconsistencies
I like the
there.
Titans. I mean, they've played tough. They played the Texans tough.
I'd say the Titans are one of the shocking teams so far. They're 2-0. First of all, they beat the Steelers opening day in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh had won many in a row. I'm not sure how many, but a lot. Okay, and then they last week they also went into Houston and lost basically on the last play of the game.
But they covered. Hey,
this is a good team.
I like the Titans.
You know, Mike Munchak's got this team playing well.
You know what? You don't like the Titans, I could tell, but
that's a tough game. I mean, I understand what you're saying. I don't think San Diego's as good as they've looked, and Tennessee looks like a team that has improved from last year.
And I just want to say this: I think Jake Locker gets a lot of unfair knocks. I don't think he's nearly as bad a quarterback as people seem to think in general, and that's all. We'll leave it at that. Now, again, you've got some valuable information, folks. You can get more information by going on to Uncle Ben's website at UncleBen'sFootball.com. There's no apostrophe in there. And UncleBen'sFootball.com, you'll have plenty of advice and good advice, as you've heard today. His information is fabulous. You've got Handsome Howard's picks to go on as well. He ain't no chicken liver here. And I think the best thing to do is now we're going to do this every single week. We're going to wrap up our NFL segment after the third segment. We're going into a fourth segment, and we're going to give you some bonus picks on the NCAA because Uncle Ben knows NCAA football as well. Howard likes to stay away from NCAA football to the most part.
I don't trust these quarterbacks in NCAA. They're out fooling around with all the women Friday night, and then they go play football Saturday. So I need to know where these quarterbacks are the night before their game.
It's all about contact, Howard. It's all about contact.
And on that note, we'll say goodbye to Handsome Howard. Howard, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Marty. Thank you, Ben.
We'll be right back with Uncle Ben and his NCAA picks. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned.